Okay, so this isn't really an anime question
Okay.
of the week. This is more so of an opinion, something I've been thinking about. I saw a post on Facebook about, um, found it on Facebook, kind of. It was about regular TV shows and like movies and stuff like that. It was about, hey, or not the question, but the statement was, hey, let's stop making these new trash films and bring back the ones, or let's stop recreating um, trash films and recreate like good ones, something like that, right? But it
Hmm.
had me thinking, and I reposted it. And I said, or let's stop making new films and just bring back the second seasons of TV shows or the second movie in a movie series of shows or movies that we actually like. And so then that further had me thinking about anime.
Hmm.
And I was like, a lot of the times when we're looking at our upcoming seasons of anime, right? And we do our whole list and we break it down on the episode. I'm like, sometimes we see a lot of returners and sometimes we see a lot of new stuff.
Hmm.
And my question, I guess, is more of a question, or not really a question, but what would you rather see, especially like, and I'm not saying like just all returners, even for the trash stuff. Like, would you rather see a more heavy season of returners of great shows that we love, or would you rather see more seasons of, or more seasons of anime, not seasons of shows, seasons of anime of new shows? Because me
Hmm.
personally, there's a lot of shows that I was on the Crunchyroll app earlier today, and I was adding a lot of stuff to my watch list, even from stuff from the past season, because it'll let me know whenever a new season comes out, I'll see it or whatever.
Hmm.
And I was like, God, this I've only watched like for like Grand Blue Fantasy. There's like three other ones that or still have season one from 2018, and I'm like, yo, bring this show back. You know what I'm saying? Like, I
Yeah.
want a second season of this. You know, the manga's been out and been probably been over for the last 10 years. Like, let's bring this shit back. You know what I'm saying?
Hmm.
Um, I was like, I really rather have these shows come back or a little bit more returners than new ones, if that kind of makes sense. I mean, I guess that kind of puts us and people like us out of business if there's more returners than less new stuff. But still,
I mean,
you know,
we'll make content wherever we need to make content. We'll review
regardless,
things that are returning at that point.
yeah,
People want to hear about the
regardless,
things that are
right,
returning. Um,
right,
I feel like I'm on the fence, to be honest with you,
okay,
because I agree. I definitely there's a lot of shows, a lot of anime that, a lot of shows, period, that I want to see
yeah,
come back.
yeah,
Um, but I also want to see new things come out. And
I mean, same, yeah, yeah,
it's a real like calming moment when you look at all of the mangas, like just specifically looking at the mangas that are ending, and people are
yeah,
like most of the content like heads are
mm,
saying what's next, what's next for shonen, what's
yeah,
next, what's going to be the next big thing that everyone gravitates to, because of course everyone's
yeah,
going to run to the more mainstream shows. But honestly, after JJK leaves, what's next?
yeah.
After My Hero Academia leaves, what's going to be the next thing? And then we get greatness like Sakamoto Days. Now, I'm not hip to Sakamoto Days, but it's a new anime that's coming out,
Yeah.
and they're saying that's the next big thing coming from Shonen Jump. So yeah, I want to see the shit that like you. I understand that anime when it first like came out, or the first point of it was to
Yeah.
market the manga, so more people were like, oh, this anime is great, I want to read more of it. So more mangas are like, okay, I want to put at
Hmm.
least one season out, maybe I'll put two seasons out. But at this
Yeah.
point, you put out all this greatness, we want to see
Yeah.
where that greatness go. We don't want to always
I
keep on
mean,
starting with greatness and then just
I
letting it
like I
fizzle.
get everything's a business, like you said, right? Like
Mm.
they maybe put the money into dropping only one season just so they can get their manga back on track or more
Mm.
popular again. But like, bro, I've been like when discovered like for Grand Blue Fantasy, for example, which side note, this show called Grand Blue is out, and I
Mm.
thought it was Grand Blue Fantasy coming back, and I was like, you say less, and I looked at, it, I was like, okay, it's not the same
No.
thing, so I was pissed, but um when Grand Blue Fantasy dropped and I finally discovered it, I was like, all right, when's second season? I looked it up and there's like, oh, nothing's been said. I'm like, this show came out in 2018. Like, what? Why are we dropping such good shows? Now, don't get me wrong about shonen, understandably, because shonens and so on and so forth. But there's a lot of shows out there that aren't shonens and are
Mm.
battle fantasies, are I mean, even for the rom-com community, like rom-coms, battle fantasies, psychological thrillers, these shows that have like hundreds of mangas or
Mm-hmm.
hundreds of volumes, and they've only done one season in 2018. You know what I'm saying? So they have a lot of content that they could still put out. You know
Facts.
what I'm saying? So yeah, shonen, I'll give you shonen because that things end in shonen. You know what
Mm-hmm.
I'm saying? Like, and we get shonen is just moving. We move and move and move. I don't think there's a single shonen show out there right now that has less than a season on it. You know what I'm saying? Or not, well, less than a season, less than 2 seasons that I can think
Less than a
about.
season.
Less than a season is none,
Uh,
right? But less than 2 seasons. So yeah, Shonen is understandably gonna just put out the newer stuff and the newer seasons.
yeah.
But I meant like these like diamonds in the rough that we talk about on here, like something like we're gonna talk about today. If it's like I parry everything, right?
Mm-hmm.
If they never come out with a second season of that, it's like why
Nah,
not?
nah, I feel you. I think they're afraid. I think the animation studios they picked them up,
Yeah,
and obviously there's going to be audiences or like pockets of audience who are like, this is amazing. I want to see a
yeah,
second season. But they're like, I can put out another season, and I get those people and bring them back. Or you see that new manga that's bringing in
yeah.
all these readers. Maybe I should just put out the first season of that and see how that does. And then get me the result I want. Like you
Yeah.
said, it's all about business,
I
and
mean, it's yeah. And if
unfortunately,
they
we
don't
got to
make
pay
the
for
money,
it.
just because it's popular with us too doesn't mean it's popular with everybody else. So they could have not made money on it and can't afford a second season, understandably. But I
Mm.
just, especially with movies, like not a really a side note, but this train of thought has been with me for like the last week because I just found out that the show The Peripheral on Amazon is canceled, and I'm like, that was the best show you had on Amazon besides like Fallout, which was a one drop, and like
Mm.
some other shows that they had on there. The
So
Peripheral
one
was
drop,
like,
they're not going to do a
well,
second season of Fallout.
no, I meant like that was their like hot. I didn't mean one drop. That was their hot drop
Okay. Mm.
of that moment, right? The Peripheral wasn't. The Peripheral was just out of nowhere, but it got so it was top two on Amazon's most watched the entire time it's been out. It's still in the top 10, I believe,
Mm.
and since it dropped, and fantastic. And then I looked it up, and it's like, oh, it's been canceled. I'm like, bro, this is one of your literally your most famous show on this platform because the Fallout is kind of like a one drop. Like the Fallout when it came out, it was number one for weeks, and then everybody's watched it now. So now it's not on the top 10 anymore. The Peripheral is still top 10,
Mm.
like still. And you have great actors in it. It's a great show. Amazon doesn't miss with their shows, but then you do shit like that, and then you just cancel the show. I think because it had to do. We talked about the SAG after strikes and all that nonsense. It had part of that had a play in it, but I'm just
Mm.
like, bro, y'all are missing the
See,
mark. And then you drop in these new shows that are trash. Like I don't understand.
that's why I don't watch. Like that's why I steer away from real people shows because they have additional problems that anime shows don't like. And I don't want to get on
Yeah.
this wee bucket, but I will
No.
get on my wee bucket right quick because real people shows have real people who have real lives, and these niggas be like,
A real.
I want real money. I'm doing real well, so pay me real money. And they're like, we don't got that for you, so we're gonna give you this. Like, well, I'm just gonna take my opportunity somewhere. Or they run out of content to give.
Yeah.
Or they just didn't receive the like again, they didn't receive the result of the amount of audience or viewers that they expected they were going to receive. And they just decided to cancel them. Anime
Yeah.
doesn't have to deal with most of that outside of how many viewers did we actually
Look,
get.
if Mappa can suffer, y'all niggas can suffer. All right.
And if
No, but
somebody
I get
they
you.
get crazy,
I get you.
switch them
But
out.
like, if I'm really comparing and contrasting just from my head canon, like there still are a lot of anime shows that do that, right? Like honestly, it's the same.
They
Like
do it
yes,
too much. That's the problem.
there's probably more. There's obviously more in like the real live community because these people move on to different projects or they die. I don't know. You know what I'm saying? Like,
They die.
I mean, just like
Mm.
even thinking about like we're watching my wife wanted to watch The Descendants. It's like a Disney live action princess villains thing. Well, one of the characters died
Isn't that?
before the fourth movie came out.
I think my daughter watches that.
Hey, she's a Disney fan.
I'm a Disney
Whatever.
fan. Okay, maybe I gotta check it out. Maybe I'm not a
She's a
real
Disney.
Disney fan. Okay,
It's corny as hell, but whatever.
I've seen a season. Okay.
But the dude, there are movies now. There's
Mm.
4 movies. The dude in the like third movie, he was a I think he was on Wizards of Waverly Place or something.
Mm.
Like he was a famous Disney actor. He died, And because he died, the next movie the main cast didn't want to do it, so none of the main cast was in it. It was all new cast, and so it made the movie like not, I wouldn't say bad, but it just made it not as good. You know what I'm saying? So understandably, like they have more problems in the real world, but at the same time, I'm starting to notice it with anime as well, like a lot more.
Yeah.
That we're getting way more newer stuff than we're getting returners. And we'll make the content like you said wherever the content is, but I'm like, fuck, I really want like Harem and the Labyrinth to come back. I want fucking Black Summoner to come back. I want, like I want these shows that I really, really like to spring forward because I'm not reading the manga. I'm sorry. I would never know
I'm
the end
not
of the
reading the
story.
manga. Yo,
I would never know the
you
end
are
of the story.
so adamant about this. But honestly, I think we're doing our part to make that happen because we're bringing light
Making it
to
popular.
those
Yeah.
shows
Yeah.
that people aren't actually watching because they're like, oh, it's just gonna be good. I don't like the cover art or the thumbnail for they have on it for my anime list. Maybe I'm not gonna watch this. We're letting you know, like, hey,
Yeah.
this show's a banger. If you don't
Yeah.
watch this, you're truly missing out, which we will get into later on today.
And I mean, we read a synopsis and it's not even at all what we thought it was fucking gonna be.
Facts.
So,
Facts.
like, I
Every
mean,
season.
what was that one? I bring it up every time we talk about this, but there's that one that was like completely off to the left of what we thought it was gonna be. It was like 2 seasons ago. That was fucking hilarious. But anyways,
It happens.
I just want to get your opinion on that because I'm starting to see that a lot more, and I'm not really, I don't know. It's kind of give me a bad taste in my mouth. I'm praying and hoping these shows come back, but we'll see.
Yeah, we'll see. I'm with you. I agree with you. I wish they would be more consistent with it, but at the end of the day, it's a money game, and they're gonna go to where they think the money is, and we just hope for the best.